The next section of the podcast, Stonegate to St Helens Square, begins here. Pause here outside the building on the corner, now the teddy bear shop. This used to be Kilvington's Wireworks. Dennis Lawson went to work for George Kilvington when he was 14 and a half in 1943. Here he describes the wire baskets he made at Kilvington's.
In those days, the paper baskets were all wire, made of what we call diamond mesh. And potato baskets, for a potato seed, we always did a load of those. They were made a similar way, but they were this round, and tapered, with a twisted handle with a wooden handle on it. The sieves were made for the potato firm, but we wanted the machines for sorting potatoes out. And they used to have round ones, flat ones, but all different size meshes to grade the potatoes. I did a lot of work. Also to give me the job of making copper window frames for the churches, chandeliers, the glass chandeliers. I used to get them quite regular.
Mandy Cryer recalls how Kilvington's made a hood for her daughter Valerie's pram and a wire basket for herself.
I made her a carry cot for a doll. I thought, well, it needs a hood. So I went to Kilvington's and said I could do with a hood. So would you make me this thing? So they did. They made, and she can still remember it, and she's 60. And this, it was a hood that came up and down, like a proper pram's hood. And then the other thing was, in those days, bicycles just had flat carriers, and you had to tie things on. And I thought, well, I want a wire basket that I can put cereal packets in, because I used to come laden from shopping. I had my husband's haversack on my back and carrier bags. And I thought, well, if I can just get these cereal packets, and that was good. So they were very obliging. I mean, you can't do that now, can you? There's nothing that you can have made personally.
Turn left into Stonegate. At number 11 Stonegate, now Kennedy's Bar and Restaurant, was the Old World Club. Mr. Philip Calvert talks here about the Old World Club as he remembered it.
There wasn't much to do after you left the pub in York, really. And everybody was on the lookout for a party. The Old World Club, you had to be a member. If you're a member, great for the women, because, as it got to the end of the night, they'd come over, can you get us in the Old World Club? Can you get, oh yeah, I'll get you in, And I used to amble over there and going through the door. From what I remember, it was on 3 levels. It had a sort of a coffee lounge on the ground floor, but there was a cellar as well that had dancing and often jazz in there, but certainly records for dancing, all very lowly lit and all very very seedy. But then when you went upstairs, when you went right to the top, it was all chemin de fer and blackjack and roulette, and it was great to go up there. We used to go and just watch. After the Old World closed, another little organisation set up in there, and that was called Stonegate Raceways. The idea in there was to set up an amazing Scalextrics setup, and you could go and pay to race on these and on the Scalextrics. It didn't happen for long, but it was there, definitely.
Walk past the Punch Bowl pub at number 7 Stonegate. Mandy Cryer remembers frequenting the pub with her friend Doreen Pudsey.
We used to start off the Half Moon and then a quick half at Betty's, and then we'd go to the Punch Bowl and finish up at the Star. And Doreen was a hoot. She had this rabbit skin coat, and if it was raining, she used to cycle with an umbrella on to keep her coat dry. And we used to come into town, and of course Mondays was cattle market day, and we were fighting our way through cows.
At number 1 Stonegate is Crabtree and Evelyn. This used to be a greengrocer's which sold rare and exotic fruits. Sheila Hannon, who worked in the shop, recalled that the ginger had a ticket on it saying it was an aphrodisiac. She also remembered the weird-shaped gourds, which were labelled as good to throw at Labour politicians or to feed to a mother-in-law. And during the period of the Six-Day War, fruit from Egypt and Israel was set out beside each other, displaying a label saying, "No conflict here." You are now in St Helens Square. To your left is St Helens Church, and in front of you is the Lord Mayor's Mansion House. St Helens, properly called St Helens Stonegate, has stood on this site for 1,000 years or more. The site on which St Helens now stands was probably important from the time that the Roman army first established a legionary headquarters in the city in 71 AD. The main gateway into the city was at the far corner of what is now St Helens Square, the former churchyard. Although the first evidence we have of St Helens dates only from the 12th century, it's probably of pre-conquest origin, i.e. from the first half of the 11th century or earlier. The alignment of the church, at an angle to the adjacent streets, corresponds to the presumed alignment of the Anglo-Saxon minster. Now turn round and walk back up Stonegate towards the minster. The next section of the podcast starts here.